Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of the Neurodivergent Navigator Podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin Warren, and today I will be discussing some outdated autistic terms and symbols and why they are no longer used today. In this episode, we will look at the terms Asperger's, high functioning and low functioning, severe or mild autism, mentally handicapped, mentally defective, and subnormal. And we will also look at the outdated symbols, the puzzle piece, and ribbon. I hope you enjoy. So, the first most notorious outdated autistic term is Asperger's. In simple terms, Asperger's is no longer used when describing autism because it is considered to be a very narrow term that only describes some elements of autism. The now preferable term used is autism spectrum disorder, as it describes how autism is a spectrum. However, the main reason Asperger's is no longer used today is because it is a term named after Hans Asperger, an Austrian physician who conducted early studies of autism around the time of the Second World War. And although Hans Asperger's work is considered to have significantly contributed to the general understanding of autism, he is mainly considered controversial. This is because, in his time, he would separate and only support autistic people who he believed to be teachable and productive to society. Others, who were believed to be more disabled, were deemed unworthy of life and were unfortunately often experimented on or murdered. Another autistic term that is considered outdated today is high-functioning and low-functioning autism. These terms are now considered inaccurate and stigmatizing. This is because the labels high or low functioning autism don't reflect the complexities of autism and how it's a diverse spectrum with diverse needs and challenges for each individual autistic person. The use of these labels can lead to inaccurate expectations or misinterpretations of an individual's abilities and support needs. For example, a person could be considered to have high functioning autism, meaning they can generally function well. And people would assume that they don't need that much assistance because they are considered to be high functioning. However, this person could actually still need support in other more minor elements of their everyday life. Severe or mild autism are also labels that have a similar element to them. These terms are different though, as some people may still use these terms or describe autism within levels. Autism can sometimes be described by people as having 3 levels. These levels are simply used to describe the amount of support an autistic person may need. It's important to remember that these levels are just one aspect of understanding an individual's autism and are only used to entail the support that they might need. It doesn't define what a certain autistic person can or can't do. Some people find these levels useful terms, and some autistic people don't find these terms to be helpful or accurate because of the range of abilities that can be present in an autistic person. Severe or mild autism is a term that's honestly a hit or miss in my opinion. Although these next terms are no longer widely used, it is still important to know that it is never okay to call someone with autism, or any disability for that matter, things like mentally handicapped, mentally defective, or subnormal. These terms are mean, hurtful, and just generally rude to use. Moving on, there are also symbols associated with autism that are considered outdated today. The most prominent symbol is the puzzle piece, or the ribbon consisting of a puzzle piece pattern. The puzzle piece symbol is no longer widely used for a variety of reasons. 3 main reasons being: when the symbol was made, autistic people were never consulted on it. The symbol implies harmful messages, like autistic people are puzzles that need to be figured out or fixed, and the symbol is associated with Autism Speaks, a harmful and ableist organization that I may talk about in a future episode. Nowadays, the preferred symbol is the infinity symbol, as it represents the infinite diversity of the autism spectrum and how it can be different for each autistic person. Thank you for listening to this episode of Neurodivergent Navigator Podcast. I hope this episode helped you learn about and get a better insight into outdated autistic terms and symbols and why they are no longer used today. Have a great day or night, and as always, stay weird.